Right, 5 months have passed and we sustained. So welcome to everybody who's joined live and for the 98% of the people who are just going to watch the recording. So everybody, hope you're all well and thank you for tuning in. So we are going to continue monthly AI tools, hacks, and Ask Me Anything webinar. This is me, Baskar here, and welcome. So people who are joining live, please to introduce yourself in the chat and let's keep this vibrant. We started in March, as I mentioned, every second week, second Thursday, you kept it going. And yes, while the AI is still there, I'm trying to do my best to keep this as human as possible, just to give you little nuggets, important nuggets, something practical that you can take it, rather than to be overwhelmed with the technical jargon of other things. So we have successfully done it for 5 months, and we will continue to do it for the rest of the year as well. So what did we cover? March is where we introduce what we call the last bidders on the beach. I do that every AMA just so that you'll see how far we have come. This is where we just said, oh my God, there is a tsunami coming up and let's see who's prepared. We started to work with what's ChatGPT, bits and pieces, and that's where we introduced our very early process called AIO. Today, it's now called differently. We called it craft process. And we very quickly launched the bidder boot camp. So that was in March. Next, we went with AMA. That's where the stuff started to happen where, oh my God, AI is going to take over. We are going to lose our jobs. And so many things happened. And there were lots of plugins that started to rely on AI that started to come in. And the whole, what we call AI marketplace opened up. And we looked into some of those interesting tools, like we looked at 20 tools, and that formed the basis of AI tools and Ask Me Anything. And gradually during this session, I was noting down the questions because many of the questions we weren't able to do this live during the session, and that got constructed into future learning programs. Last time we looked at AI regulations, and we're starting to keep a note of that now, and we're just keeping posted on what's happening. Then come May, where things start to settle in. Where the talks about confidentiality, privacy starts to stabilize a bit when ChatGPT launched their own privacy feature. And then the AI detectors, it also had their own AI detector, the optimizer, and it went on. And we also start to look a little bit more into that. And this is where we kind of said, you know what, even with this preliminary features, we actually used 12 bits, in this 10 weeks, just when we started in March all the way to May, we've submitted nearly 12 bits on that. Value of 61 billion. So nothing should stop you from embracing AI. First, get to know what's it. This is where we are starting. Obviously, our AI-powered bidders were using it left, right, center, but there was still some concerns in there. We're starting to give you more and more confidence in doing that. That's where we are gradually moving people away from what we called the classic tribe, who's like, no way, I'm going to write with pen on piece of paper. That's Microsoft Word. To what we call AI-assisted writers who are like, you know what, I'm gonna get a feel for it, and gradually move from AI-assisted to AI-embraced, and finally AI-empowered. That's the journey that we are going through, and we made the announcement we are going to launch a flurry of programs. That's what we did based on the things. In June, we stabilized it even more, and we officially launched the 45 learning courses. And most importantly, that's where we start to say, hey, beyond Google and Google Bard and ChatGPT, there are 2 more tools that we are using it, and that might be used, especially Forefront we introduce. And we also start to use, if Google is your tool with Workspace, how you can use it to create a lot more. How you, instead of 1 draft, we looked into 3 drafts, and how you could use the regenerate drafts button, and how you could directly connect into Gmail and Docs, etc. And we also start to see how Bing got integrated into ChatGPT, and now ChatGPT Bing search is coming up. And now we are also looking at Google search and Bard and bits and pieces. Again, we were settling it gradually. The most exciting part was we were positioning ourselves for a lot of frequently asked questions to be covered within our program. We launched in addition to the bidder boot camp and the intensive proposal mastery, we also went on to do AI data governance. The first session happened yesterday. And then we also went on to do the proposal writer workshops and stuff. But even before we launched it, what we did, We then used it as a framework. Masterclasses, all these resources are available within our YouTube channel, and also you could click and watch it on demand. Depending on how latest it is, it's available in there. So if you haven't caught up with anything, please go and catch up with that. So tomorrow we begin the proposal mastery cohort 2. Today we closed AI Power Bidder cohort 2. So all these colleagues who are part of that, welcome, and all the colleagues will be joining us tomorrow for the proposal mastery, and also for any of these workshops, welcome. But what I'm more excited about that is, while we have gone in depth on the writing part and in depth on the process and also bid management and proposal management part, what was missing was the graphics. We are going to launch an 8-week bootcamp around it, covering all your AI graphics things. So I just want to take a moment and start to reflect on certain things. I'm not going to talk, but I'm going to show you some stories. These are personal stories that were sent to me. For many of you, it will be much more technical, where, I found it hard to start writing. I had writer's block. So this helped me to go. I was very anxious to write a proposal. I had issues last minute, and this tool helped me. But here, I just want to share some stories. For me, nearly when we started, it was a lonely battle in March. It was just me. When we had the first webinar, we had 12, but today the people who have registered just on AI, AMA tools and webinars is nearly 400. And we have built up a community of nearly 1,600 AI enthusiasts. So for me, the heartwarming thing is why you are here, giving up your time, and how it profoundly makes it is stories like this. Let's have a look at one more and then one more. For example, it's not just professional success. It's not just winning bids. It's not just writing a compelling response. It's not just working with your subject matter expert, not like executive summary. Yes, that's all great. But beyond, what's more important is how are you finding yourself in helping yourself in positioning yourself for what we call the future self, right? And how now AI is empowering you to do that. Some of the stories I haven't even mentioned it. There were two autistic students, graduate students. And the mom called me, and he got broke down, because he never felt so welcoming. And I was like, which was just a webinar. And today, you can clearly see how it empowers. He wasn't able to work properly. Now he's working, and so many stories. So, these are some of the stories that I want to share. Like behind it, yes, there is a lot of effort that goes in creating the materials. Our students know what I talk in the AMA tools webinar or any of the master classes, or is very different to what I actually talk through in the actual study materials. So, for that to happen, we refresh a lot of things. But beyond it, yes, these stories that keep us going. But thank you. And if at some point, if there was a small crack that helped you, and there's a small nudge from what we have done that helps you to succeed, please drop me a note, because these are the building blocks or the protein shakes for me and the team to keep creating, keep doing more content. So the last of the stories, and then we could officially enter this month's AI tools and webinar. So I just leave it to you to read it, because it's I know who these people are. One or two might be here today, and some of you might be watching the YouTube after this or on demand, but thank you. There are nearly 30 stories like that which reached me gradually. I know many of you have done something, but you might not have shared. That's okay. But keep pushing yourself, and keep learning. That's what's going to keep you going forward. So I think that's the success stories. I didn't want, if you were expecting that, oh my God, we did 15 bids and we won all 14 bids with AI. AI is the way forward. Yeah, we could talk things like that. But what's more important is professionally, personally, how it's informing you to do the best versions of you, right? That's the thing. I'm sorry, I didn't realize I've added actually a lot more. But yeah, this is you. These stories, I'm sure you could connect to yourself, right? And this is here. I didn't remove one person's name. It's for mistake, but this is it. It could be some are from Africa, some are from India, some are from US, some are from UK, one from Singapore. But you can really see the pattern that's emerging here. All right, it's much more. It's beyond. So I think we read it. I think we got the message, and let's move on. So, first of all, celebrating the success of my students, the 27 of them. I know some of you are here. Thank you. Thanks for joining. And I've already shared the story. And I just want you, the others who are here, to also kind of celebrate it with them, because you know what? It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage when others are just talking about it, when others are debating about it, for you to take, pull your sleeves and join something and make an impact. I have all the time for people who have joined now to join either free master classes or the AMA sessions to do it. But these people have given. It's not easy to give up 10 hours of your time or 30 hours if you're doing the boot camp, including all the materials and stuff over 6 weeks, 8 weeks. And you have given it. So I personally can't wait to see the collective impact you all are making. And with all your support, I just want to congratulate them. So you will get to know who they are when we start to post about them in the next day or two from our Baachu Scribble post. So let's look at some of the AI tools in news. I know that's what you're looking for. Obviously, the image that you saw was created by Midjourney. I'm super excited with it. And we also touched some of the graphics tools in the AI Masterclass graphics. But you can clearly see the ecosystem of Google and ecosystem of Microsoft is becoming more and more dense. And if you're part of it, it's going to be very natural for you. I think like how the kids recently who are using smartphones have no idea. 10, 15, 20 years ago, we used to have landline phones. This is going to be natural for them in the next 5, 6 years, where like everything will be flowing through automatically for them. So we looked into some of the art generators. It's just a recap. The most of the wider tools has all been, if you have done the AI data masterclass or AI writing or the AI graphics things, this is what we dwelt with. We looked into some of these tools, Midjourney, Firefly, and we also looked into what we call DALL-E, and we also looked into Stable Diffusion, etc. So the AI art generation is now, it's amazing, and we are going to look deeper into this and you are going to clearly see how text-based content where you need somebody with a lot of graphics creative capability, where you as someone who's knowledgeable around your bids and proposals but hasn't done graphics before, how can you emulate yourself in this journey? And that's the thing that I'm super excited about it. But this already been covered, but I thought for some of you might not have covered because this has not been covered in the June webinar. So this is here. Midjourney, best AI image creator for photorealism. If you're looking for AI image creators that's used to Adobe, it's Adobe's Firefly is there. Then if you're looking for the free AI art generator, DALL-E is there, but you need to be very, very patient with these tools. It's not going to suddenly come and create something immediately for you. You need to know how to work with this, and we are just going to cover in the bootcamp, but just enjoy the process of learning. That's it. So, as I mentioned, I went on and asked. I need to find 27 of them. Obviously, people who are past. I didn't want to put their names, put their pictures. Can you find it? I got super excited. I got even more images. And this is photorealism. This is within 60 seconds, right? So this is what we are going to cover. So what are the AI tools? We talked Midjourney. We talked the Google Bard ecosystem is building up. And you can also see some of the news is people are starting to react to it. If you've seen this quarter, next quarter, you're going to have bloodbath. Which was predicted long time ago, so because the investments are moving more and more. I've just given some of this information, I'm not going to read it through. If you are subscribed to our AI Scoop newsletter, this will be covered there in text format, but it's there for you. So primarily, anybody who's already are in Threads, Meta, the Facebook launched Threads, anyone has used your Instagram account connected to Threads? Anybody? 100 million. It's actually 110 million now within a week of launch. Anyone? You should. I think it's like a competitor to Twitter. And my God, it's it's busting up. Obviously, this is nothing to do with AI, but you can really see how people are adopting to new things, right? Adopting to new things, and um, this is new Perplexity, which I'll cover now. It's a kind of a nice blend, which okay, we are so used to searching in Google, and we are so used to using ChatGPT now. And now I need to have a transition from X to Y. Is there any bridge in between? That's where Perplexity come in. And today's theme will be that. How can you bring in your Google search within ChatGPT? That's it. Okay. Does it needs to be two different things? Can it coexist? And that's what we are going to cover today. And these are some of the other news that I thought I'll share that with you. I just got it today, refreshed it a few hours ago. So you can really see language models are up on the mind. And the biggest news that came out yesterday is Claude version 2.0, which I'll also cover today. So Shutterstock is another thing. Shutterstock used to sue Midjourney because of copyright infringement, but now they have given it access to OpenAI. So DALL-E can now start to use Shutterstock images. Shutterstock is where you find this any generic images of a person working in an office or some other thing we normally pay money to get these people. Now it's all going to be connected. So you can see how the ecosystem are working together, right? So AI regulation, again, weekly update, it comes in there. People are suing others while some people are embracing them. So Center for AI Digital has escalated its case against OpenAI and to talk about it. And there was a global trends benchmark report on some of the G12s, some big countries who just look into that. It's been released. An important thing is what we covered last time. It's first of all, you need to know the principles of responsible use, what we call ethical use, which we are doing. Second one is, you need to create your own AI risk policies within your company, and you need to be on the front to do it yourself. Don't wait for others to do it, because we shared some of the resources previously, which I'll also cover. And the legislation is on its own. It's going to come in. And then comes technologies. Regulation to technologies is always going to be, how far have you regulated social media, which has been there for 10 years or 12 years, right? If we haven't even regulated that properly, let alone go back and regulate the AI tools. So, but there will be a lot of people who will be putting curveballs to stop this. But today we are living in an AI era. So that's how things are going to be. So let's see. So we covered this on AI data risk, but again, for people who haven't attended that, here's a quick summary. This is it, NIST. Use it, very, very good. We are using this. We are using this to create AI data risk policies for companies, including ourselves. This is something that you could do because the implications of AI, in many cases, you're stopped from using this because somebody within senior leaders have made the decision. On what basis they made the decision, what inputs did they get from anybody? Don't know, God knows. But that's the reason we are slowly, we are bringing in the IT senior team, we are bringing in the chief exec, HRs, etc., in a collective roundtable, and we're starting to have this, engagements with them just to say, hey, you know what, your team is empowered. You saw the success stories. They are learning. They now they got a new friend who's helping them to do more, which means you are going to win more, which means your company is going to grow more. So how can we create that envelope for you to do it? That's the AI this thing. But if in simplest form, if you missed it, go and use this AI risk framework. Now, I just want to ask you this question. I don't know how far you have come today. So when you open a laptop in the morning, 8 a.m., 8:30, 9:30, whenever you are opening it, you might open your Outlook, you might open your email box. But I'm just curious how far you have come. On a day, do you still open Google search? Press 1. On a day, you open ChatGPT. You press 2. ChatGPT could also be Google Bard as well. And number 3, I don't use both of them, where the tool that I use is Yext. So what do you do? I just want to see, because there is a mindset shift. The whole journey, as you can see here, is a shift in your behavior, right? We talked about it last time. I'm just curious to know what's common now. Because for me, it's number 2. But I still use number one as well. But today's theme is this. Can I bring in one and two? Can I bring in one and two is what today, let's have a look. Interesting. That's very interesting. I'm glad, I'm super happy that some of you has said two, but one of you has said one. But you know what? I love you, everybody. So let's be more accommodative. Well done. Thank you. So ChatGPT or Google, which is better for search? That's the question for today. People ask me like, Baskar, you do know ChatGPT is September 2021. We know a long time ago, but I need that source. What can I do? So let's just go for this, So I'm not going to read it. So it's because I write it in a conversational way, so it's easy for you to grasp it. So should we forget Google for ChatGPT? Now, I think you can still use ChatGPT for most of it. Google still has a place. So, but the important thing is, for finding answers for most of the, people did a massive study on giving nearly 1,000 use cases between Google searches and this is what they found between links and the actual information. 39% is better. Obviously, we know this information. So what is there a balance between these two? Where I still need the links and the facts that comes with it with ChatGPT, and that's what comes to Perplexity AI. Perplexity AI. I just want you to go and try this, and let me know what you think about this. So I'll touch it at the very end. But the very first thing that we can do that is, okay, I don't want to go for Perplexity. There are so many plugins, as I already talked about, or Google extensions. What can you do? There are three that I'm going to suggest. So two of that is you might need a ChatGPT account if you have it. Anyway, you need to have a ChatGPT account, right? Whether you have a Gmail or anything, you still have an account. And whether it's free or plus, you still have to have it. And let's have a look. I'm going to go step by step. And I just want you to try this. So imagine you have a ChatGPT answer, then you have the same answer or the not same question responded by Google search next to each. There's like two side by side. How cool that would be, right? That's what we are going to do today. So you're going to go and find this. It's called ChatGPT for Google. ChatGPT for Google. And this by far is big. Look here, nearly 3 million. See, there's a typo. I said 2 million. It's nearly 3 million users. So 3 million of the people are curious, like you and me, trying to see, I love Google. I've been using it. And I won't even use the word search. I say Google it. I've been using it for 20 years now, and I can't suddenly switch to ChatGPT, but ChatGPT is really amazing. But I still would love to have the Google's features. How can I bring it? That's where you are. So go and install this extension, ChatGPT for Google extension. It comes in like here, then you click and you add the extension. Once you've added it, this is where it becomes interesting. It asks you a few questions and it tells you, okay, what do you want to do? Would you always want me to be behind? Choose between always, question mark, or manually, as when you want to have ChatGPT extension results, which meant like, do you want me all the time? Where every time you ask a question in ChatGPT for me to give you an answer, or you just trigger whenever you need me, which is like when your query ends with a question mark, then I'll come and find the answer, or ChatGPT is queried when you manually click a button. So you could also click that, which means, okay, now Google search, you also go and do it. Light and dark, this, I know this existed, but one of my colleagues decided to leave the company Monday. And after 3 years, because we have 100% retention, because we don't have anybody who left the company in 7 years. So, and that was a shock to me. And I was like, I asked her what's happening. Then she said, the blue light that comes from the laptop, for some reason, for the past 3 months, it's affecting her skin, and her skin's starting to get hard, and it's starting to peel for her. So I felt like, oof. So then obviously, these days we take it for granted. So please be aware. The laptops or the emissions and stuff that they talk about does affect you. So please do use dark where possible. Yes, so that it's It's good for you. Sit in a light environment, but ensure that you keep relevant information. I share that because this is dark and ready. Or even if your laptop put that settings as dark, so that after some time, if you especially work in the night, don't use the light settings, use the dark settings. So, sorry, I got digressed in here. Thought I'll share that. So AI provider, again, you are going to use, there are two things here. One is, if you are a consumer like you and me, or if you also have an API tool like what my team does. So you can now go back and pick, what I've subscribed to Plus, but I also subscribe, but I'm a free member, so use 3.5. But if GPT-4 is available because I'm Plus member, then you click the other option. So you pretty much configure it. And then it will ask you, okay, fine, end of the day, I still want to confirm it's you, human, who is doing it. And you can go back and create your API key. It's free. You can create it within, like how I've done here, Baskar Sundaram. You don't have an API key, go create it. I created it. Then I added my API key, and then I'm all set to go. So primarily, it comes here and tells me here, what is the, after customizing extension as per your preference, you can start to initiate the query. So it's as simple as that. Now you can connect it to your login. And here we go. You can have the answer for your ChatGPT on one side and Google search on the other side. So people who have pressed 1, now you can get into 2, and people who have pressed 2, just so that if anybody asking you, I need to have the link, you can have it in parallel. So hope this was useful. So I thought I'll share that just so that you could make love on both sides. So that's good. So, so what are the tools that are there? The another tool that you can use here is this one, which is Chat on AI. Chat on AI, it still has nearly 100,000 users. It pretty much does the same thing. You add it, then you configure it, whether you want to do it in GPT 3.5 or 4, then you have Google search and this in parallel. Lastly, you have Merlin. Merlin is also a popular tool, and you can start to use Merlin. So yes, 1 and 2, best of both, 100%. Testing. So yeah, Merlin, you can just use this and to see the same thing. You can have engaged it, and you can start to have. So these are the 3 tools. I thought you can use ChatGPT, you can use Google search in parallel. So just use it, and you can configure it, and you can work for that. But I want you to do even more. So that's where Perplexity AI comes in. Perplexity AI, yes, it's mouthful, but what you might find here is, Baskar, that's too much. I want to use ChatGPT, but I know ChatGPT needs to be connected to Google and ChatGPT, or Microsoft and ChatGPT, or OpenAI. They compete with each other, so that's okay. But can I bring both together in one place? So kind of a neutral player. That's where Perplexity comes in. It's very good. This whole week I was playing with this. Instead of using ChatGPT and Bard, I was spending more time on this. So this is very, very good. So it's so as you can see here, it also gives you what others are searching, and the sources and bits and pieces. So if you want to go back and search, get the same search feeling, but instead of giving you links, if you want to get answers to it, Perplexity is amazing. I just want you to, if there's one action I want you to take it from today, it's go and browse perplexity.ai. You don't, as you can see here, I haven't even logged in. There is a pro version, gives you a little bit more, but you can still go back and search what you want to search without even giving anything. So there is nothing. People talk about confidentiality, privacy, and all those things. Put that on the other side. Bring this all here together. So Perplexity AI is the tool for this session, but there is a lot more. So people used to ask, Baskar, how do we do? In our bootcamp, we'll be looking to a lot of tools for RFP shredding, and there are a couple of tools which I suggested for my students, and also here is these two, right? Xmagic, which is there. The chat PDF, which is here, chat doc is our go-to tool, but that got changed. Yes, that got changed. So Chat doc, very user-friendly. You put in your PDF and it starts to give you answers. Very, very good tool. $5.99, we subscribe to this to get this done. And XMagic, what it does is you can add multiple documents and you could have conversations with it. Both are very, very simple tools. Both are very simple tools, what we need to do. And then we came across this one. So I am not going to name this tool. If anybody goes and find the name of this tool, I will invite you for our next AI-powered writer, which is $495 for free. Right? I want you to go and find this tool. Go and find this and let me know what the name of this. Send a message to me. If you find it, I'll invite you for free. So this is an amazing tool, but I'm going to leave that because I've been giving you all these things, expecting you to do some action, but let it be the other way this time. I'm telling you the front page of this, but you go back and find what the tool is about. So the other one, which recently hit it, which we are very curious about it, because obviously, as you know, we do test a lot of tools, is this one. Again, a similar tool, like, you just upload a document and you answer the document. As you can see here, D-answer, which is like document answer. That's what I think. So I put forward the information here. Very, very secure because you can host it. As I always say, you need to know the privacy policies of each and everything. Don't just totally discard it. Use it ethically, use it fairly, this is here. So the answer powered by GPT-4, which means reasoning is very high. The best thing is, while other things are hosted somewhere else where you're using it, you can actually host it within yours. If you're an IT person, if you are, say, imagine if you are this proposal automation company that charges you X amount per tender, X amount per user, right? And all you do here is it's a knowledge repository where you put all your documents in, and then you're just asking about the queries and you start to fill these answers, right? And if those guys are telling that, oh, now we are also connected with ChatGPT, but you still pay 10,000, 15,000, 30,000. I know some companies pay up to $500,000 on that. For $20 a month, for $20 a month, you have an enterprise tool in D-Answer, right? So we have a D-Answer, just you can host it. You can host it within your server, which means your IT team have total control of how this exists, right? It has intelligent text chunking, so nothing will get lost. We are all stuck with this tool, but I'll just leave that to you. This is slightly advanced, but there are tools coming up which are cutting the clutter. So you don't need to, and this is how the disruption happens. Salesforce is entering the proposal automation market, Salesforce. So I feel sorry for all the existing providers. It's all going to be amazing. So you're going to get a lot more options, a lot more of the things that's going to come and do what it takes. So the answer, go and try, go and test it out. Again, it's a slightly enterprise tool. If you want to start with something very basic, just go play with it. This is it. Tool of the day after Perplexity is this Claude. I call it Claude. I'm sure there is a better pronunciation for that. Thus, we have a rival yet for ChatGPT. It comes in Claude. So for the reason I've shared ChatDoc, I've shared XMagic, and I shared D-Answer, and I shared that secret tool, because those are specific. If you add a document, then it answers it. But the disadvantage that you're having with ChatGPT now is I don't want those tools where I need to, because those tools all rely on ChatGPT, including D-Answer. But what if I have the same tool like ChatGPT, but very, very powerful, like ChatGPT? At the same time, I can attach a document and have discussions towards it. So obviously, the reasoning part of Claude, I've been testing it whole morning, and because it came live only yesterday. Already put in 400 pages. I've been testing it. I've written 2 articles on this today. It's there in our website. So it's kind of still rough because, but it's far ahead. It's similar to 3.5, but not as great as 4. But you know what? It's very worth it. So it's available in US and UK, and everybody is saying this is the closest competitor we have seen to ChatGPT. And the interesting part is this actually splintered off from OpenAI. It's, if you go back and read the history of who these people are behind it, it's actually a brother and a sister. And who launched this, they actually came out of OpenAI, and they launched it, obviously. So it's there. As I mentioned, it trails the ChatGPT a bit, but it's very, very similar. But what's the differentiator is ChatGPT has 2021 September cutoff, whereas this has until February 2023 as the latest training data set. But I'm sure within the next few months or so, you're going to see how the update is going to be. And what's the shocking news? Whereas ChatGPT, you could write, in plus, it goes from 3.5 words to, it goes up to 25,000 words, they say, but this is up to 75,000 words, where it could get it, which means you could feed lengthy documents. And some people are actually feeding the very first versions of Harry Potter book. People are testing it, and it automatically starts to ask questions about who's this character, who's that character. And it's actually, Perplexity is very good in accuracy. And they say when you add a document and have a conversation, this is actually giving better results. It has, instead of having called a training data, it also has a rule book that it's all trained with Constitution. So it's what the mentors, they say, they are coming with a different angle. Like Google went to the far extreme, where it took all the stuff to a far extreme, where if you ask any answers, it doesn't give you the answer. Whereas ChatGPT went to the left, where it has to work through and improve it to refine it to get the right answer. Whereas this has a nice neutral balance. So it's tough, and people are already ranking it as number 2. It's coming up, and there is it's there for US and UK. If you're not there, it's coming up. And who else is using it? Jasper Marketing, they are the number 1. They are using it. Zoom, Notion, and Midjourney are also using their customized model. What else? Obviously, they are working behind the scenes with Apple. So the chatbot was trained using the UN Declaration of Human Rights and Apple's terms of use. So Claude is here. Wait for you, say hello to Claude, and this is how they use it. Once you log in, this is how it looks like. And after Perplexity, play with it. And I was curious, okay, if it's not available in US and UK, they say POE is available. What's POE? That's what I'm fascinated about. POE is called Platform for Open Exploration. Since our theme is democratizing bidding knowledge, I'm super excited, like the amount of tools that we are getting it, where you are empowered. It makes you a totally different league, where now you can compete with anybody who has the money power or resource power. So again, it's a platform, funnily enough, developed by OpenAI, while ChatGPT is a specific model developed on the OpenAI platform. There is a nuance, but it's still based on OpenAI, and it came out spin-off, and it comes with it, and this is how it works. So it has free and subscription bots. So free is this, and now since it's Apple-backed, not Apple-backed, since they use Apple's terms and conditions and others, you have to have Apple ID to make this work on POE. So this is a third tool. So thought, I know it was going dense. I thought I'd add something in. I asked ChatGPT Friday last week for the newsletter, tell me a lie. Just said everyone likes you all the time. I shared that to my family. Obviously, they said it's 100% correct. We hate you, Daddy. That's what my son said. But we love you. But either way, tools are tools. So what I thought, let me summarize it very quickly. We are in a journey. You are in a journey. There are a lot of resources available for you, whether it's in our YouTube channel or whether we post it in Baachu Scribble. It's there for you. AI Scoop, if you haven't, that's where the news and updates comes in. That's there. Training programs are up and live. 45 sessions went up yesterday. We finished 1. Cohort 2 for bidder program finished today. Cohort 2 for proposal mastery begins tomorrow. If you haven't joined in, I might go in the website because we want everybody to come in. Proposal mastery, because we are going to increase it because it's $495 today. We will be increasing it to $795 so that it's at par with the beta boot camp. What it meant is the last cohort, which is tomorrow, that starts with anybody who joins that. We also are giving the proposal writer as a bolt-on. So this is it. It's a 4-hour, 4-day intense. And then this is the 6-week boot camp, another different version. If you want to pace it up, this comes up. The 8 weeks boot camp is totally, I'm excited about. It's the only thing that we'll be doing it this year. We're going to go from full shebang all the way into introducing information graphics, how creativity works, and gradually we'll be building it up. So it's not like your traditional, here we go, Adobe instructor, let's go and do it. We will be doing some recordings of how to use the tools, but this is much beyond tool. This is for anybody who's interested in to go and use this, and it's there. So I think the first mover advantage goes to a beta boot camp and the 27 odd people that we're talking about. And it's still open for anybody who can join it. So this is the writer program. This is, people always talk about, hey, you know what, if I use ChatGPT, you use ChatGPT, does ChatGPT write in the same way? So what's the difference between you and me? For most people, you know the answer, because you are the one who's logged into ChatGPT or Googlebot. So to prove that, we started to have training. Then we realized, hey, why can't we make this as a separate trainings? In here, we are going to introduce our craft framework, and we are going to take 7 or 8 responses from different vendors, and we're going to give it to you as a workshop attendee. And then we are going to prove it how you as a person can come out with your own styles and how the answers are going to be different. Now you can go and apply that across everything, So that's it. Then we're also going to look in specifically on, this is specifically for writing. And what can you do to do that? So our summer schedule is up and live. Obviously, when you are ready, we are there for you. Every month we have it. Every month we refresh it. Every month go for it. But don't wait for long. Yes, it might be great in December when you join in, but there are people who started in March with us. They are already accelerating. They're already empowered. They're already moving and getting better roles, winning bids, improving their lifestyle, working with your family, work-life balance, etc. So, those are the stuff that comes in. It's always here. Our platform is there for you beyond. So what I want to do before I open up a question is this. Thank you. Thank you for joining. And I just want to take a special moment. Thank you for your courage. First of all, as you can clearly see, not everybody is here, which is good. And people who are joining the recording, yes, thank you for taking the time to watch the recording at some point. So you are going to be unique in this journey. And that meant you might think you are lonely on this, but you're not. There is a community behind this. There are people like you who are joining the journey gradually. We anticipated this. When the tsunami hits it, for some people, it's going to be taking them away. But for others, we'll be sitting and watching, and others have already started exploring. But you're gradually going to come in this journey. So this is for your curiosity. This is for your dedication. But all I'm excited is you are going to lead the way, where others will be talking tools, doing sponsored webinars, telling about regulations, talking about other things. You are unique. And I just want you to take whatever you've got and continue to do what it takes, because I know some of you might be taking a break. It will be summer. I'm expecting very less people to join in August. But if I don't see you, have a happy summer holidays. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next AMA session. Where I'll give you a little bit more updates on what's happening. It'll be on August the 10th. And we'll continue the journey, continue the conversations. And if there are any questions, any stories, I will address it either on the AMA session, like how I'm addressing today. Can Google search and others? What are the other tools, Perplexity, and also Claude? And if there is anything else that comes in, we'll add it part of the masterclass, or we'll add it part of the training workshop so that you could get it much more clear there. So that's where we are. And yeah, I'm waiting for you to tell me what the tool is. And some of you have asked me whether we could do an AI mentoring sessions where, yes, I'm using this. We are pondering it, and we might have if you're not part of the Circle platform, join our Connect. This is where things happen, and we are pulling in some super users. So what that meant is, you can ask any questions here within it. And we are also making a mentoring program or a fortnightly program where we just launch in, people can ask doubts and we could have live mentoring. It's like a mastermind type of a thing, which we're planning to launch in addition to the tools templates that we have within Scribble. just to do that. So I'll keep you posted on that. Most probably will go live in September, but please do join in if you haven't joined, connect and have your questions there. And we will have our 27 people, super users. And I'm sure some of them will be able to answer those questions. And I wish you become the next super user AI powered bidder. And we can start to have the conversations going forward. So that's it. Thank you very much for joining. If there is any questions, let me know. I'll be on standby. Otherwise, I will hopefully see you next April. You can always go back and watch this recording in YouTube or on demand, and also any other stuff available within Baachu Scribble LinkedIn. So that's it from me. Any questions, anything, keep me posted. Hope this was useful. And if it's useful, drop me a message, say thank you. That's what keeps me pumping up. And also, if there is any stories you want to share, hey, I've used this and it's working for me. I've used this. I have a doubt. Let me know. More than happy. Drop me a message. Happy to do this. Otherwise, thank you ever so much for joining. Thank you for motivating us. Thank you. Because of you, we are learning. And keep inspiring us and look after yourself. And I'll see you at the next AI Tools AMA webinar. Let's see who finds the tool. I have an idea who's going to find the tool, who's going to be the curious soul, but surprise me. Thank you. Take good care, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.